Welcome everybody. Thanks for joining me today and gathering around the telescope again, as we always say. Going to go through the newsletter today. Sorry it's coming out a little bit late this week. Had a crown come off and tooth acting up, and had to get the tooth repaired and then a new crown put on today. So that took up part of my afternoon today. And then just getting over this illness this week has just been, today is about the first day I kind of feel like me. Starting to sound a little bit more like me, starting to get my normal voice back, so pretty excited about that. So hopefully I don't have to pause because I have to sneeze or something or cough, but if I do, you'll know why there's just a quick pause if that occurs. So let's go ahead and jump right into the newsletter for this week. This week is January 11th through Saturday the 17th. And this is the waning crescent heading right toward new moon. This is the week for deep sky object observing. Galaxies, faint nebula, planetary nebula, globular clusters, faint open clusters. This is the week. This is our week. If you have clear skies, I'm excited. We are supposed to have clear skies for the next 10 days. Here along the Wasatch Front, that will mean haze sets in, as is typical in January. But as I get out to the desert, to some of the mountain tops that I go to and ridges that I go to, be cold, but we won't have quite the inversion they have here because there's not as much vehicle exhaust and other pollutants hitting the air out there. So anyway, be heading out early next week into midweek and taking advantage of those skies, I can tell you that. So anyway, great. Here you can see I have this lunar progression for this week. Basically, we're in a waning crescent heading right toward new moon. That crescent's going to get thinner and thinner every day this week, and the moon will come up later and later in the early morning hours. So plenty of time, especially with darkness hitting about 5:30, 5:45. So by 6:30, 6:45, you can be observing. You can be done with winter objects if that's what you're going after, which is what I'll be doing, probably by 12, 1 o'clock in the morning, if not before. And then you don't have to be up till all hours of the night. That's what I like about this time of year. Unlike summer, we don't start observing till 10:30, 11 o'clock at night because got to get through astronomical twilight. Anyway, so you can just see what I have here, what it means for sky watching, just basically covered that. Visual observing, like I said, galaxies, nebula, globulars, faint clusters benefit greatly this week. And probably the best, January 15th, 17th are basically moon free, so great time to get out. For astrophotography, ideal imaging window, low sky background, easier gradient control, better SNR on faint targets, and narrowband and broadband friendly right now. Best nights 14th through 17th, basically the same as with visual observing, and great for this is a great time for LRGB work, faint nebula, and long integrations. So great time for that. Some of the highlights this week, right before this window, right before Sunday, on Saturday, we covered this in last week's newsletter, Jupiter's at opposition tomorrow. So it will be directly the Earth will be directly between the Sun and Jupiter tomorrow. So Jupiter will be at its brightest tomorrow for this year from an Earth perspective. So it will be wonderful if you can get a telescope, even just binoculars out and take a look at it. Scope should show. Wait till it gets up a little bit. Don't look at her low. Wait till she gets up a little bit later in the evening, up out of the muck, out of that lower atmosphere, and should give great seeing. Anyway. You should be able to see the cloud bands, great structure on the red spot, hopefully, if you have great seeing, and things are good for you there. You have the waning crescent moon and earthshine, basically 11th through the 17th. Moon is a thin, waning crescent, so if you want to sketch or image it, going to get up early in the morning. And look for the earthshine, the darkened portion of the moon faintly illuminated by sunlight reflected from the earth. It's especially observable shortly before dawn. Just a minor meteor shower this week, Gamma Ursae minorids. They peak on the 18th, just outside this week. The faint meteoroid systems peaks at around January 18th, so next Sunday, week from Sunday. offering a few meteors per hour under dark skies, very little moonlight, so be okay. It's not a great one, it's just a small, faint one. You might be checking if you're out under a dark sky during that time. New moon's on the 18th, perfect for deep sky imaging or observing that night as always. Here in the solar system, remember you can go to Skyhound for comet chasing or to Star Walk and see their comets for the week. And comet, probably if you're in the southern hemisphere right now, see 2024 E1 Wirchos. Wirchos is visible in small telescopes at a dark sky or a 16-inch under a country sky. If you're in the southern hemisphere, really won't get to the north till later this month, really in February probably. Comet 24B Shumas is probably the main target this week. It's just past perihelion, closest to the sun on the 8th, and today, and still well placed in the morning sky. It's a morning observation. Its brightest around magnitude 10, too faint for naked eye, but it should still be accessible with small telescopes and possibly larger binoculars if you're under dark skies. It begins the month in Coma Berenices and at magnitude 10, and look for about a 3.5 degree coma. Center much brighter than the edges, though still diffuse. Should fade slowly, moving into booties by the month's end. So you can see, just put up from Skywalk, copy of what their comments are for this year, probably the big ones coming up. So we do have Howell coming, we have Warshaw again coming up. Just kind of is coming out of the northern hemisphere to the southern hemisphere. And you can see though that the next one, Howell's going to be a southern hemisphere one. Probably get the next one, Pan-STARRS, coming up in April for a little bit in the north, probably the southern sky, and then you can see Temple 2 coming this summer. Okay, visible planets this week: Jupiter, 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 Jupiter. Still going to hear Jupiter, Jupiter, Jupiter. It's up all night, excellent. It's king of the planets. Go to some of those things I put in the newsletter last week for seeing transits for the moons and the red spot. And it's great, rises at about sunset, peaks. It's there till sunrise from the east to the west sky. Very bright, very naked eye, very easy to see. Saturn, still up there. You want to see it early in the evening. As soon as it starts to get dark, it's going to fade into the west very quickly right now. Rings are still pretty much edge on, so good view of that still. Uranus is up there. It's in the southeast to the south. Evening, late night to see Uranus. You need a telescope for that, I think. Neptune, it's near Saturn, so again, early evening on Neptune if you haven't had the chance to take a look at her. And again, Venus is the morning star again. Yeah, I would still list it as not visible just because it's really close to the sun still. Mars is still in solar conjunction, emerging later this year, and Mercury is just still too close to the sun. It will be emerging in early February, so look forward to that. Like I said, Jupiter's main target. You can see Saturn went through all that. Uranus's finder chart is still there, as is Neptune, so if you want to take a look at those, you can. Constellations and naked eye observing. We are transitioning really from the fall. I'm going to take a drink really quick. From the fall to the winter showcase items now. Orion's probably number one. It's the showpiece constellation for winter. Best time 7:30 to 11 p.m. my time in Mountain Time. It's in the southeast to the south. The naked eye highlights are Betelgeuse, of course, up on the upper right shoulder. Rigel, lower left, blue-white. It's actually a double. Orion's belt, 3 perfectly aligned stars, of course, and you can actually see Orion's sword, M42. It's just a fuzzy patch. The Orion Nebula is there. Taurus, usually right above it. Bright stars and star clusters. 7 to 10:30. It's in the south. Aldebaran, the orange giant marking the bull's eye, is easy to see. Pleiades are right there in M45. Hyades, the V-shaped open cluster around Aldebaran, is pretty good there. And if you're under dark skies, Pleiades will show you 6 to 9 of their stars, and you should be able to see the mini asterism almost looking like the Big Dipper there. Gemini's rising right now, 2 stars, the twins. Best time 8 p.m. to midnight. It will become in February the highlight constellation, just so you know. You have Castor and Pollux, the twin stars. And of course, you have easy star hopping constellation with clean geometry. It's easy to hop around at. Forms a large winter triangle with Orion and Canis Major. Auriga, I posted the Deep Sky Observing Challenge for Auriga that came up. The next one will probably be on Gemini, just so you know. I might do Redness, because I haven't talked about a Redness. And there's a Redness, January is I think I'll do a Redness next and then Gemini. I'll do a Redness, try to get that in next week early before I get out observing and share that with you. If not, it'll be at the end of next week after I get done observing. But anyway, Auriga, I posted that up. Hope you've seen that. If not, go take a look at that. It's the pentagonal chariot here. Best time 7:30 to 10 p.m. It's high overhead in the south. Naked eye highlights Capella, one of the brightest stars in our night sky. Pentagon shape is easy to trace it out and exceptionally rich with binoculars. You can really just pan for different objects in Auriga and see them with binoculars. Next one is Canis Major. It's the brightest star in the sky with Sirius. Best time is 8:30 to 11 as it's rising from the southeast up into the south. Naked eye highlights. Sirius is there. Strong scintillation. When Sirius really scintillates and is twinkling a lot, you can see some really good color in it. And it's unmistakable. It's probably the highlight this week. There's some great open clusters in Canis Major, which we'll talk about in a couple weeks when I go through that constellation as well. Here is just some recommendation on naked eye objects this week. You got the Pleiades, Orion's Belt, which is an asterism, Orion Nebula and Mission Nebula, which you can see is a visible fuzzy patch, Sirius, Capella, and then the Winter Triangle and the Winter Hexagon. I put that back here from last week. Just going to keep that there. Challenge you if you haven't seen it. Get out to a dark site. Take a look and see if you can actually trace it. Let that be one of the first things you do when you get out there. Meteors this week, like I said, the Gamma Ursae Minoids, not a big thing. They're going to peak on the 18th. Mainly you're going to see some sporadic meteors this week if you had a dark site. Deep sky objects this week. Introductory, you can see I really narrowed it down. You have M42, the Pleiades, M31, M35, and the double cluster still. Intermediate, M81 and M82 later in the evening into the early morning. You're going to begin to see Ursa Major start to rise up in that northern sky and eventually start trying to come up towards zenith. So it's a great time later in the evening and early morning to take a look at M81, 82 to get just a tease of what spring's going to bring your way. You have M76, the little dumbbell. You got 2237, the Rosette Nebula. Open cluster and nebula there. M78 and Orion is a great challenge object to go after. Good small nebula near some bright stars. Of course, you have 457 ET cluster, which is early in the evening up in Cassiopeia near zenith. Wait for it to get down a little bit. Well worth still if you haven't taken a look at that. Some advance in Gemini, you have the Eskimo Nebula, also known as the Clown Nebula now, 2392, with good aperture and high magnification. You can get some great visual images, and you can get some great astrophotography images of that. M33 is up there. You get the H2 regions. What is that? I want to say I'm on 928, but I don't think that's right. Anyway, you got M101, the pinwheel, that's coming up later in the evening. 891 is still a good one to go after, and the California Nebula before it fades off. If you're looking for visual challenge, use the H beta on that for visual observing, or HA for astrophotography. Very difficult if you really want some challenge objects, both for imaging and visual. M74, it's low surface brightness. See if you can catch it visually, see if you can get it imaging wise. You got the Witchhead Nebula, IC2118. It's a reflection blue nebula. It's very faint. It's mag 13. Diffuse reflection nebula near Rigel, almost invisible visually and faint in short exposures. image it. I don't know why I put IC 1296. We need to take that out. It's next to the Ring Nebula. That's one for summer. Sorry, that shouldn't be in there. Simus 147. I posted a post on that. That's a broad, faint supernova remnant between Auriga and Gemini. Well worth going after. O3 narrowband, large aperture, deep sky, great transparency on that to get that one. 7006, distant globular cluster, 678 and 680 is a galaxy pair, good to go after, sharpless 240. The outer regions is Simus 147 for imaging. There's a quasar you can go after, and then the Mayphi group galaxies, which are obscure. You can look those up, well worth your time if you're imaging. Key stories for this week: first detection of starless dark matters dominated Cloud 9. Using the Hubble Space Telescope, astronomers have confirmed a new type of astronomical object. Basically, contains dark matter and hydrogen gas, but no stars. It's effectively a failed galaxy. It's from the early universe. It sheds light how galaxies form or don't form. That was interesting. NASA releases first sky all-infrared map from Sphere X. It's produced its first comprehensive infrared map of the cosmos by combining over 100 exposures, offering a huge data set for studying galaxy formation, cosmic structure, and the origins of the universe. VRC Rubin finds a record-breaking asteroid in its first weeks of observations. The VRC Rubin, it discovered a huge, rapidly spinning asteroid about 710 meters across that breaks records for spin rate among large asteroids. The observatory also identified nearly 1,900 previously unknown asteroids, heralding a flood of new solar system discoveries that are going to come from VRC Rubin. That's awesome. And then James Webb telescope spots a supermassive black hole racing through space. Supporting observations from Hubble and Keck show a supermassive black hole moving at about 2.2 million miles per hour relative to its host galaxy, creating a vast star trail and offering new clues to galaxy dynamics and gravitational interactions. Here you can see the link. If you want to get the newsletter as a own digital copy, go to File, Make a Copy, and you can make your own copy and save it on your Google Drive, or it's attached as PDF. Make sure you get out this week. I'll be chasing some Herschels and some things in Auriga. Hope you are too. Hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great one.